We wrap up our Best in Show series here at SeniorBowl.com as we look at each position at the NFL Combine. And we're talking defensive backs today with Phil Savage, our executive director, who was in Indianapolis for all 4 days of on-field workouts. You start with the defensive corners, and I guess you got to start with Darqueze Dennard from Michigan State and Justin Gilbert, Oklahoma State. Those are, you know, probably the two best, at least consensus.
Yeah, those were seen as the two seniors that were really going to battle it out in terms of the top draft status. But Justin Gilbert, very smooth, ran in the 4.3s, had an excellent showing. Darqueze Dennard ran a little bit slower in the 4.4s, a little bit tighter in terms of some of the transition, change of direction things. So I think coming out of the Combine, Gilbert might nudge ahead. Now another player that was one of our Combine studs in an earlier video was Bradley Roby from Ohio State. He ran in the 4.3, showed excellent ball skills. Fans will say, well, he didn't cover Jared Abbrederis against Wisconsin during the season, but over the course of time, I think the pro scouts see him as somebody we can't teach or coach 4.35. We can clean up some of his technique and his eye control. So I think you'll see Bradley Roby emerge out of this group of corners as this process unfolds. Now, a couple of other players that were non-senior bowlers. Kyle Fuller had an injury, could not participate with us, had an excellent workout at the Combine. I think he's a fringe first rounder now, certainly no less than the second round. And then Philip Gaines is a player that I actually went and saw during the season from Rice University. People said all year he can't run. He ran 4.3s at the Combine. We should have had him here in the recent Senior Bowl, but he elevated himself in terms of now people going back and really watching the tapes. But in terms of Senior Bowl players that showed up and did well, how about Pierre Desir from Lindenwood? You know, he's one of the taller, in vogue corners, long arms, very smooth in his movements. And then Nevin Lawson from Utah State, he's more of the quicker, over the slot, nickel type corner, ran fast, has quickness, ball skills. I thought he had a good showing in Indianapolis. And one final senior that I should mention that actually was signed up for our game but couldn't do it because of a shoulder was Jason Verret from TCU, another player that ran in the 4.3s, outstanding ball skills. There's a little bit of a question about his size. He's only 176 pounds, but I do see a team that's looking for a nickel corner, potentially one of those teams that's picking in the 20s that may not have needs at other spots and looking for a third corner. Jason Verret might be the choice.
And in terms of safeties, Clinton Dix from Alabama, I think a lot of people thought he was a first rounder. How did he do, and then how some of the other guys do, the safeties?
Well, I thought coming into this, Clinton Dix from Alabama and then Calvin Pryor from Louisville, they're both juniors, they're both forecast as first rounders. I thought had a little bit of a better day than Calvin Pryor in terms of his movement skills. We've always been able to see the fluidity that he has in space, his ball skills. Calvin Pryor is a very good player in his own right, and I think his tapes, you know, he may be a little bit more physical on the tapes than Clinton Dix, but a couple of other safeties that were here in Mobile for the Reese's Senior Bowl. How about Terrence Brooks from Florida State? Now, his agents told me that he was going to run fast, and I believed it, and he did. He ran in the low 4.4s. I think that certainly helps keep him probably in the third or fourth round area. And then Deion Buchanan from Washington State. He's a player that's not overly familiar with fans in the SEC, although when they played Auburn in the opening game of the year, he had 12 tackles in that game, if I'm not mistaken. But he's a bigger, physical safety that has shown more movement skills and ran better times than maybe people expected. I look for Deion Buchanan to go in the second or third round now.
All right, big weekend for Buchanan. And we're not done here. We're done with our Best in Show series, but we're going to talk about your sleepers coming up. These are your sleepers.
Savage super sleepers.
Savage's super sleepers coming up here at SeniorBowl.com.